Everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Dojo Live. I am Tulio Sirigusa, broadcasting from Southern California, and today I'm joined by my guest, who is Aimei Wei. She is the VP of Engineering and founder at Stellar Cyber. Hi, Aimei. Welcome to Dojo Live.
Hi, Tulio. Thank you for having me here. It's a
It's
great
my
pleasure to be here.
It's my pleasure to have you with us. Today, we're talking about cyber security. It's a big topic. Recently, we've seen even companies like Morgan Stanley with a major data breach. I mean, these are companies that spend millions, if not billions of dollars trying to protect their data, trying to protect consumer information. And yet, this keeps happening. We keep having these issues. And so, we're going to talk about it today. Is there a fix all? Is it possible to put an end to these cybersecurity challenges that we're facing? So we're going to talk about that. But before we do, let's get to know our guest a little bit. Aimei, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Yeah, I grew up in a small town in the northern western part of China. So when I was young, I really interested in the science and math. Then when I entered college, I studied computer science. I think what the computer science taught me is mostly problem solving. So I'm really into the problem solving. Then cybersecurity, in my view, is a battle between the offense and the defense. It's ever going battle. It never just stop right there. So it's a very interesting problem for me to work on.
I love it. Okay, so your love for math and computer science gave birth to this and realization that you're a problem solver. And this is a big problem to solve. So tell us a little bit about Stellar Cyber. What gave birth to the company? What do you guys do? What is the charter of Stellar Cyber?
Sure. So about 5 years ago, I started to think about the challenges that the security industry is facing. Why, as exactly as you mentioned earlier, we invest billions of dollars in the security tools, but we still get breached. Why is that? Is there a different way to solve the problem? I think in the past 20 years, the security industry is mainly on the focusing on the perimeter-based preventive method and also siloed tools. And then in today's world, the environment changed. People move to cloud, the attack surface increased and make the old paradigms doesn't work anymore. So we need a new way to solve the problem. That's why I founded Stellar Cyber to solve this problem.
Great. I want to learn all about it. So the topic that you've chosen today is open XDR and the future of cybersecurity. When X means everything. What did you mean by when X means everything?
Great question. So X means everything, meaning it includes all your data sources as the asset. For example, your network, your endpoint, your cloud, your users, everything is protected through this solution. And it's no matter where you are. You may be on premises or maybe in the public, your data is in the public cloud or private cloud. So anything in anywhere you're protected. That's what we try to do. So XDR, that's what the X means. What the D means is detection, and R means response. So no matter where you are, what you have, we quickly detect the attack and respond to stop the attack at the early stage or minimize the damage.
Okay, so Aimei, I want us to just kind of unravel this a little bit, right? There's a lot of people in tech, and that the assumption is that we all know about cybersecurity, but not everybody is really fully aware of how it works, how it comes together. So, for the benefit of those who might be listening, who maybe need a refresher on how this is coming to, what does the ecosystem look like today? And this will help us understand what's unique about your company as well. Can you just kind of break it down? What are the available solutions now? You mentioned network security, on-prem security. How does it come together today? And then let's talk about what is uniquely different about what you guys are doing. But if you could just give us a little overview on, for the
Yeah,
benefits of the layman's about cybersecurity, how does it kind of come together? What does the ecosystem look like today?
sure. So, for example, people have firewalls to protect their perimeter, and then they have email security, they have endpoint security. So, all of those individual tools spin out thousands of lines of logs per day for each tool. So, human has to go through those to pick up the needle in the haystack, and then
Mhm.
we can just cannot keep up, and then we miss, right? We miss those. There are so many signals. There's a alert fatigue, and then you cannot respond to all of those. And also today, in the modern attack, hackers stay very low, so you need to connect those weak signals and into a stronger signal. So that's what we call it, by connecting the dots.
Now, you said something interesting about the old paradigm doesn't work. So, in the old paradigm, if we could just kind of explore that a little bit, everybody was working from an office, right? Everybody was on prem for the most part. So, security was limited to where you worked. People didn't take their laptop at home, logged into their own private internet network, and deal with the myriad of different access points that we deal with today. And also, the data has been moved. Not It's not all on prem. It's on the cloud. In some cases, it's on a private cloud and so forth. So that's introduced a lot more complexities, I would think. What I'm hearing
Exactly.
is each one of those pieces has to be individually secured today. That's the way it's solved today, by individually securing every one of those assets. Is that how it's done today, predominantly?
Exactly. And it's a siloed. So you cannot, sometimes by through one signal, you cannot tell if anything serious is going on. But if you connect them together, then it's very clear something serious is going on.
Okay, so if you're a company with thousands of employees who either work at an office or remotely or what have you might have some mobile device management solution, right? That's embedded in the devices where you can control a myriads of things, from what software people are running as well as what security platform they're leveraging. But that's more of a provisioning solution, would you say? Is that versus one that gives sort of centralized control over security? Is there a centralized control over security model similar to that for managing security? How's that done today?
So today, I think it's exactly as you mentioned, each one is managed individually. And then you have to look through the logs of each tool or alerts of each tool. It's time consuming and you cannot keep up. So what our idea is, we collect data from all those security tools as well as raw data. And then we have 360 visibility. We collect
Mm.
the data from all your environment and then normalize them. And then we build detections on top of those. And then the next layer is we correlate those small signals into bigger signals. And then,
So
yeah,
I'm sorry,
so,
please continue.
sorry. The last step is we also built in response functionality. So we work together with existing tools to
Okay.
respond to the attack.
Okay, so rather than a replacement, this is another layer that works in conjunction with existing tools. Is that correct? Or is it a possible replacement as well? Which of the
Exactly. It's actually working with existing tools. That's why open. That's why it's called open XDR. Our customers do
got it?
not have rip and replace. We work with what they have already and improve, provide them overall centralized platform so they can have the 360 visibility and coverage of all their environment then detect any anomalous behavior and stop it immediately.
So can we talk about one or two use cases? I'm curious to learn first of all how it gets deployed. Right, you've got thousands of assets,
Mhm.
very in silos, as you mentioned. How do you go about deploying this layer on top of all these things? Is How do you collect all the various assets so that you can monitor, detect, and then respond, and then trigger a response? You guys have built APIs with multiple security platforms. You do a rigorous implementation process. How does that work? How does that work today?
Excellent question. So what we have is a software. We are a software solution. So our software solution can be deployed anywhere, and we collect the data through various approaches. So we have a family of sensors that can monitor your network, can be deployed on your servers, on your endpoint. And we also have connectors that through API pull information through your other security tools from your cloud. We have over 50 connectors to interact with different security products, and that list continues grow. And then we also have log parser, so other security tools can forward their log to our platform, and we'll parse it, normalize it, and do the detection on top. As
Excellent. So these are virtual sensors, I'm guessing that get embedded into the various assets. Is that correct?
it, they can be virtual, and then they can also be physical
Physical
boxes
sensors. Oh,
that
interesting.
monitor your network traffic. For example, you can mirror your network traffic to our physical sensor, and then we will do the deep packet inspection, look at analyze your traffic going on in your network, extract out the security relevant metadata information.
All right. So earlier we talked about that all these individual silo solutions, they can trigger an alert, but someone actually has to go through the logs and look for these anomalies. That's very time consuming and human intensive in terms of actually being able to keep an eye on enough data points across thousands of different assets. Not a sustainable model for large organizations for sure. So
Exactly.
what do you guys do? Do you automate that and then sort of spit out the anomaly, the one or two anomalies that come up? How is it different in terms of automating that or simplifying that? How does that work?
So we focus on the data normalization, and after the data is cleaned, normalized, correlated, we leverage a lot of the latest advancement in the AI and machine learning. For
Okay.
example, the
Hmm.
Mhm.
Please tell us more.
yeah, that's the key differentiator behind our solution is to bring those most advancement in the AI and machine learning that has been used in other areas like the Google search, right? All those, but it's not being it's being widely used in the social network, but it's not being used in the security industry. So we leverage those latest advancement and apply that to the security issues. That's how we make it automatically connecting the dots.
Now, how did you guys come up with that particular solution? Did you have people on the team that came from those industries that you sort of borrowed those ideas and brought them in? I mean, because sometimes we're sort of, we're in an industry, we only see what we see, right? But that's like coming from the ad tech space or the search space. It's a completely different industry, and unless you've been there, how do you bring those ideas into a space that is predominantly always working with its own people, right? You try to attract people that understand your space, and you're limited sometimes to that knowledge. How did you cross that? How did that happen? How did you make that happen?
In our team, there are lots of great talents. There are security experts, there are machine learning experts, and what unique about us, we have people who actually know both worlds. So that's a very unique combination. That's rare to find. So we are
Yeah,
fortunate to
absolutely.
have those talents on the team.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I just think it goes to show how important it is to cross pollinate in various industries. There's things that you can borrow from other industries that will benefit and advance where you are. You know, to think outside the box. You know, is to also think outside your own industry. So congratulations for achieving that. As you make implementations and you put them in place, what are you guys learning working with CISOs and those organizations? What are you guys learning along the way that's been more like, oh my gosh, really? You know, like any shocking things in terms of what you're discovering, gaps, holes, what have you? What are some of the stories? We'd love to hear some of those stories that you're coming across as you're making implementations with clients. Curious to
I
learn what's going on out there.
Sure. There are two things I would like to share. One is the feature request that coming from our customers keep on coming, that some of them we already have in mind, but we didn't have time to implement yet. And then it's, wow, okay, what we thought they need is indeed what they really need. Another thing is, I remember one of the CIOs, it's also our customer, from our customer, then he said his vision is truly aligned with us, is in today's world, it's almost impossible to prevent the attack from happening without breaking your bank. But on the other hand, this is a paradigm shift. We should not focus on the prevention. We should focus on the detection and the quick response so that we can stop the attack in the earlier stage before it cause damage or minimize the damage. For example, if there's a ransomware attack, on the first server it happened, you detect it and you stop it right away, then you probably have small amount of data being encrypted. But when it spreads your whole, especially when it spreads to your important asset, that's the biggest loss. So early detection and the response is the key.
Okay, so in using AI and machine learning, are there some tools you guys are beginning to invest in that potentially looks at certain patterns, for example, that allows for that early detection? I mean, is there a way to actually detect when someone's about to steal all your data? How do you guys, um, is there advancements being made around that?
Yes, it's mainly the anomalous behavior. So, for example, last time at the famous sunburst attack, it's almost impossible to detect that attack because it's legitimate uh, way to get in. People just steal the credential and got in. So it will be very hard to detect. But after they get in, they start to do things, and that will trigger some anomalous signals. For example, they created some record in your Active Directory that's not supposed to be there, or they started to do the RDP scanning in your network. So all those anomalous behaviors that may also happen in the normal environment, but when you connect all them together, then you see the picture. Does that make
Excellent.
sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it sounds as though you've sort of cracked the code, if no pun intended, on how to be more effective in getting detection and responses in place across an entire enterprise, whether you're on-prem or distributed or cloud-based or what have you. And it works in conjunction with the existing investments. So it's not a rip and replace strategy, which is always a difficult sell, right? I mean, people spend millions of dollars and it's like, I got something that's way better, but it's a rip and replace. So congratulations for meeting people in the environment that they are and enhancing that solution. What's next for you guys as we come up to the next segment of our conversation a little bit? What's next in terms of your product roadmap? What is the sort of end goal of what you're trying to achieve and accomplish?
This is a journey. It's not an end. Like connecting the dots, continuously improve our detections, adding more data sources, and increase the accuracy or cover different use cases. We keep on innovating and improving towards this goal. Yeah, so it's
Excellent.
exciting ahead of us.
Yeah, I bet. Let's talk a little bit about the environment, the company itself, the culture. Where are your people based? Are you leveraging folks all over the world? Tell us a little bit about the company itself, the working culture, the day in the life at Stellar Cyber.
Sure. So we a group of people. I am very fortunate to be joined by a group of talented, creative, and hardworking people who share the same vision and passion. So I think that's the key why we can innovate fast. We are our R&D are solely based in the Silicon Valley, Santa Clara, Silicon Valley, and we have global presence in the sales and SE support, all those to support our customers. But our headquarters is in Santa Clara, and our R&D center is there.
Excellent. So, what markets are you predominantly focusing on? Is there a vertical that you're tackling more of, or is this more of a horizontal play? Tell us a little bit where you're seeing success for now.
We are vertical agnostic. So financing, education, retail, service provider, excuse me, all those are our target. So we are horizontal in that case, and we have two types of customers. One is enterprises, another one is MSSP, managed security service provider. Those will use our platform to service more numbers of end customers because we have this multi-tenant feature built in.
Smart. So if I get called in, let's say I'm big consulting in the cyberspace, called in to do an audit or what have you. Part of their solution is tying in your platform to enhance the the detection and response. How do you have any special arrangements with those service providers that gives them like access to your back end to do customizations and things of that sort? How tightly integrated are you with those kinds of partners?
Those are mainly are there. I think I can give two examples. Those one is MSSP. Our MSSP customers, they monitor, provide the security service to their end customers using our platform. So they can provide reports, security reports, and also monitor the handling the alerts we created. Our platform raised. Another type is people who do the instance response. They're constantly help organizations to investigate when an incident happens. So they find our platforms super powerful. So they recommend they can provide the service so they to those customers and then monitor for them.
All right. So if you're an enterprise and you're trying to improve the security detection and response, definitely
Mhm.
connect with you guys directly, Stellar Cyber. If you're a managed security services company that's doing it on behalf of an enterprise, definitely a tool to have in their tool belt to provide better solutions to their end clients as well.
Definitely.
Congratulations for bringing together such an amazing team on both in the security side and also borrowing from other technology sectors to enhance this solution. It sounds as though every company out there should have this. Is this predominantly for larger enterprises or SMBs as well? I know you're a horizontal platform, but is there a specific size company that sort of is the starting point, or it doesn't matter?
As starting point, our main focus now is small and medium size companies, but we definitely see larger enterprise as we have traction over there. So size doesn't matter. It's small or big, we can service you.
Perfect, but it's the smaller enterprise tend to be a little bit more friendly, I suppose, to working through something that's a little newer than the large companies that have very specific requirements. Is that why you're focusing that direction first, or is it that there's just a market that's not been served very well from cybersecurity companies?
I think both sides, both points are valid
Right.
in this case. For example, the smaller enterprise, they cannot afford to buy various different tools. That's costly, and they don't have enough people to operate those tools. So our platform is like all in one, the only one they need. And then we already automate a lot of things. So that's a huge saving for the smaller guys.
Great. Aimei, it's been a pleasure to have you with us. Please just stay with me as we go off the air. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We're back. I know the team took a couple of weeks off for a little R&R. We'll see you again on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific. We'll do a recap show on some of the rebroadcasts we had in the past 2 weeks, and of course this show here as well. We do that in 10 minutes, so don't miss it on Monday at 12 p.m. We will also announce all the upcoming shows for the following week at 12 p.m. Pacific on Monday. Until then, stay safe, be well, and see you soon.